So it's exam time. All our year 12 students and our uni students are prepping up for what's going to be a very important couple of months. Now, while you definitely want to spend a lot of time at the desk and get a lot of hours in with your study, here's a few tips and tricks to make it a little more efficient. Regular breaks are actually really effective to maximize your effectiveness when you're at the desk. The key to making them as effective and as efficient as possible is to plan them out in advance. By planning your breaks, it's much easier to dive into the work and then really focus for that set period of time, knowing you've got the light at the end of the tunnel with that little break, that little reward coming up. Now, there's different ways to do it, but these are my favorite 3 methods. The first method is called the Pomodoro technique. It's basically 25 minutes of work added with a 5-minute rest at the end of it. Now, it was invented in the 1980s by a guy called Francesco Cirillo. Francesco Cirillo. He invented this method using a tomato, like kitchen timer. He would set 25 minutes, do a sprint block of work, tick a bunch of stuff off his list, and then have a 5-minute rest as a bit of a reward. It's kind of like interval study, if you will. This one doesn't have a fancy name, but I suppose it's the double Pomodoro. This one's a bit more hardcore, it's a bit more for the motivated ones of us. But I find the 90 on 20 off method is really effective, especially for creative tasks. Sometimes with the task, it takes a while to get into a flow and into a rhythm, but once you're in there, you really don't want to disrupt that flow, disrupt that creativity. So, not for everyone. I would suggest you play around, mix it up, do a bit of different timing intervals to work out what works best for your brain, and different tasks, different subjects, different projects will be better suited to different methods as well. Okay, so breaks are good and we need them, but what are you supposed to do during your break? The answer is it really doesn't matter. But before I give you some options and some of my favorite ideas, let's talk about how the brain works. So the brain kind of has 2 modes. The focused mode, that's where we're really concentrating and digging deep and really trying to be as productive as possible. This is how most of us work when it comes to study or getting jobs done. The second mode is called your diffuse mode or diffuse mode. Double F. D-I-F-F-F-U-S. Yeah, D-I-F-F. So we have the focus mode and the diffuse mode. Now focus mode looks something like this, where we're kind of working on a thing tightly, where we're working on a project and we're thinking about it nice and tight. We're kind of really trying to narrow in on a solution or a target or a problem. Diffuse is a lot looser, it's a lot more relaxed. Ideas kind of bounce and drift and float, and we're working all around it. And that's how daydreaming works. So you know how you have breakthroughs on ideas in the shower or driving to work or something like that? That's your diffuse mode of thinking work. It's how your brain connects random and seemingly unconnected or disconnected parts of your ideas and thoughts and brings them together to create solutions to tricky problems. So the goal with the break is to allow your diffuse mode of thinking to allow your brain to loosen up. One of the best things you can do is exercise. So a few options are, you can play hacky. You can go for a walk. Talking to mum. Shooting hoops. Shooting hoops. Nailed it. Another option is to do something cognitive, but something that challenges your brain in a different way to how you study or how your work is. Something that's going to open up your brain into the left and right hemispheres to challenge your creativity and get you thinking or solving a different problem is a good idea. Juggling is probably my absolute favorite. Solving puzzles like the Rubik's Cube. Playing Legos is really good. I don't actually have any Lego here in Melbourne. I've just got 2 keychains, so I'm going to pretend. It's not the same. Drawing's really good. I can't draw, I don't know. It's supposed to be Batman. And the last option is just to chill out. Do nothing, think very little, and just see where your brain takes you. You can have a nap. You can listen to music. You can daydream. You can go bird watching. Or you can meditate. All of these are great options to reduce your stress, lower your cortisol levels, and get you ready for the next round of study. And no social media. Give your eyes a rest from screens and let your mind relax.